Aloha and shalom. Shabbat shalom. It's actually Shabbat still, where I'm at right now. In Sedona, Arizona, in case you didn't know where I'm broadcasting from. This is the new moon activation that we're preparing for right now. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Where in the world are you? And as you watch and see where everybody's tuning in from, just envision those dots, those points where we're all broadcasting from, we're all tuning in from, connecting as a grid. So let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Hello from Denver, Esther says. Wisconsin from Andrew. Again, I'm tuning in from the amazing Sedona, Arizona. And you guys, while you're letting me know where you're tuning in from and while I'm shuffling the cards, go ahead and share this video while we're live with your favorite groups, your friends, your family, whomever you think might benefit from this message that we are about to receive. Just a little message of inspiration for the new moon. That's all this really is. It's not anything super crazy or far out. It's just a simple message of inspiration. That's what these videos are. So these videos don't necessarily have anything to do with the moon. We just use the moon as a measurement of time so that we can meet 4 times a month under the same moon. See, we have some folks from UK in here. Boston, Oklahoma, sweet. Creating the grid. So again, share this while we're live with your family, friends, favorite groups who might enjoy this message. Maybe you have some Lightworker, Age of Aquarius, self-love groups, whatever it is, go ahead and share. And I'm just shuffling the deck. While I'm doing this, go ahead and let go of whatever it is you've been carrying, whatever weight you've been carrying all day, all week, all month, maybe all year. What's something you've been carrying? What is on repeat in your mind? Can you set it down just for now so that we can open up to receive this message together? We want to right now increase our receptivity however we can. So how can you do that? How can you create a space right now for yourself to be the most receptive? I like to have water right near me. You might want to have that too. Make sure you're comfortable. And just let go of whatever it is you're holding on to so we could free up that space to be used to receive this message. It's so good to see y'all. Las Vegas, Hawaii, DC. What's up, world? I'm really excited. This new moon is very powerful. We're at Rosh Chodesh Nisan. It's a new month on the Hebrew calendar, the Jewish calendar. And this is the month of miracles. Miracles. And it's said that right now can be likened to the beginning of time. So it's really not just a new moon, but a really auspicious one, a really special new beginning, the beginning of beginnings right now. So lean into that. Miracle consciousness. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one, in advance for bringing us together to receive this message at this time. Go ahead and connect with the deck however you know how. First principle of Hermetics is the principle of mentality. All is mind. So your way may be different from my way, and that's okay. Connect with the deck. See yourself shrinking and jumping into the deck. See yourself here with me right now. Maybe see yourself holding hands with everyone that's watching this video all across the world. Just connect. Tune in. If you didn't see last week's activation, we used the Hebrew letters. This week, I'm returning to the tarot. So new moon is all about the new beginning, the dark sky, a blank canvas. What's the message that we're going to receive today? Pulled a card for our current challenge. And who is our ally? Feel called to pick one more. What are we moving toward for this month? What's the theme of this month? The card that's going to represent what we're going to come to by the end of this month. So it's going to show us what we're just now stepping into. Okay, so challenge, ally, and what the result of this month will be. And remember, these cards reflect fundamental operations, the forces that are operative behind the details of our reality. So when we pick a card for what is to come, it's only giving you the underlying operation. It's not giving you the details. It's not taking away from your free will and your ability to choose how the future unfolds. It doesn't do that. It just gives you a theme to work with. Starting with the current challenge. King of Wands. Kings are the masters of the element that's drawn. This is wands, so it's the suit of fire and spirit. So this, as the challenge, would look like we are not taking matters into our own hands as far as our spiritual path. And the challenge is one with the gift, because the opposite lies hidden within. So as you transmute the challenge, it turns into the gift, which becomes a bridge to the future. So some people may be experiencing this archetype more on the gift side, and some people may be experiencing it more on the challenge side. So for those of you more on the gift side, if you're acing this energy that's incoming right now, you feel like you're finally taking charge of your spiritual path. You feel like you are finally the one in that throne. You're finally the one making the decisions as far as which way your path is going to go. You're directing yourself toward that path that you know is going to bring you the greatest experiences for learning, for growth. And on the more challenging aspect of this, the spectrum here with this card, you might feel that you're challenged to do that, challenged to be in that position, to make your own decisions for your spiritual path. You might be feeling like you're more in the Queen of Wands stage still, feeling the feelings around your spiritual path, feeling the passion, feeling like you need to do something with all of that emotion, all that passion. But the King is the one who takes action. So we're all at this place right now where we're needing to act, take action on the next step that's going to bring us growth spiritually. So where are you at on that spectrum? Do you feel like you're really acing that, like it's smooth for you, or do you feel like that's challenging? Either way, right now, this is what we're all facing. The challenge of stepping into the shoes of the King of Wands. The ally, as we move through this, is Five of Swords. So look at the imagery here. Swords is the suit of challenges, okay? Struggles. And what comes after the 5 is the 6, a rite of passage, moving on to smoother waters. So 5, before we get there, we have to actually pick the pieces back up. We have to put them together, and we have to be willing to move on to that other side. So what this means right now as our allies, this card is telling us, if you feel defeated, or if you feel like your plans didn't quite work out the way you wanted them to, and this is reaching far back now. What I'm saying is, whatever you've manifested right now is a result of a prayer that you set out a long time ago, that you said many, many months ago. And now here you are, you've manifested all that you've prayed for, and you don't feel like you're complete. You feel maybe defeated. You feel that certain things that you've manifested in your life at this point are not fulfilling you. It's not enough. You're ready to move on. You're ready to collect your energies in all dimensions, including physically, right? Like get your finances together, get your money together, get your shit together, right? So then when you get yourself back together, that's what this is here. He's picking up the swords. He's picking up the pieces. Okay, this is his energy that he's recollecting. And he's looking back at like, oh man, maybe I have some regrets. I feel disappointment. But the regrets and the disappointment are all thoughts that are just energy leaking. It's not going to serve you to have regrets. It's not going to serve you to sit with your disappointment. What will be a positive thing to do right now is to stay hopeful, to see what is ahead. So envision that Six of Swords so that you can start moving the energy forward. This is how the tarot works. It's a meditative tool. And you're often not shown this, but hey, it is in my latest book, which I'll tell you about after the video. Okay, so you always want to look to the card that comes next. What is a succeeding card? Six of Swords is all about rite of passage. So how can you envision yourself right now doing your best to recollect your energy and moving ahead? How can you see yourself moving on? What does the next chapter hold for you? Even if you don't quite know, how can you see and feel the energy moving ahead? How can you have that inner dialogue with yourself, right? And say to yourself, okay, it's time to, it's like you're split. Inside, there's part of you, the ego mind, the monkey mind, that's saying, I want to stay here with regrets and disappointments. But then you have to have your observer mind step in and have that dialogue with the ego mind and say, this is not serving us. So let's claim that we are moving forward now, that we're on to a new chapter, that we're ready to call in that fresh energy, that in fact we are calling it in right now. It's already on its way to us. This is a new moon, new beginning, month of miracles. Hello, it's here. So start to really have that inner dialogue. How can you ask, and when I say ask, I mean give thanks for it already having happened, because that's how the law of attraction works, right? So how can you give thanks for this energy already carrying you forward? What can you tell yourself, or how can you do a meditation that will help you get into that state of absolute belief and trust that you are moving on now? So this is the ally. It's just telling you, get excited. Get excited. Rather than staying stuck on what you're disappointed about, what doesn't feel fulfilling, know that you're ready to let that go so that you can create that space for the next part of your life to unfold. You didn't lose anything. The pieces are all right there. Just pick them back up, put yourself back together, Humpty Dumpty, and proceed. So really, the ally is telling you, feel the excitement for the new. You've kind of got one foot in the old still, in that disappointment, doubt, lack of fulfillment. But we're ready to pick that foot up and bring it forward so that you can be wholly and entirely in the new stage of your life. So feel excited. Feel excited. Get yourself ready for this new stage. Ooh, perfect. And the final card here is showing us what's to come at the end of the cycle. What are we working toward right now? And the reason we want to reveal that right now is so that we can kind of plant that seed and tell the universe that we're ready for what's coming. So we could prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, and then begin to call in those opportunities here and now that will support this unfolding. So it's the Two of Wands. Again, Wands is fire, spirit. So that's our second Wands card now. And I'm going to talk about how these are connected in a second. Two of Wands is all about opportunity. Check it out. The world is in your hands. The world's literally in his hands. And this is a gateway of opportunity, and it's Wands, it's fire, it's spirit. So it's opportunities ultimately for spiritual growth, which is why we're here. Any opportunities that we seek in this life, behind it holds an opportunity for our soul's growth. So if you want to determine whether or not an opportunity is right for you, for example, whether or not it's aligned with where you're at this time on your path, you want to consider, how is it going to help me grow psychologically and spiritually? Because an opportunity can look real nice and shiny on the outside, but when you crack it open, there's really no soul to it. And you'll see that perhaps that opportunity is not as great as you thought upon first considering it. So the value of an opportunity is determined by how much of an opportunity it's going to give you to grow psychologically and spiritually. That's a big theme of this card. So keep that in mind as we approach this energy toward the end of the month, as we begin to receive new opportunities. Remember, this is how you're going to decide which ones to take. Crack them open. See what's inside each of those opportunities. What is the real opportunity behind the material layer of that opportunity? So when you pull a card, when you draw a card, you want to consider the primary elemental association. Here it's Wands, it's fire, it's spirit. So we want to go straight to the spirit world and consider opportunity in the lens of the spiritual realm. Then from there you can consider, okay, how is this spiritual opportunity reflecting in the other planes, emotionally, mentally, and physically? But you always want to start with the primary elemental association, which here is Wands. Okay, more on that in my book. So this is what we're coming to. Opportunities, time for new opportunities. We're going to have to examine new opportunities that are coming our way. So if this is our challenge right now, stepping on, to sit on that throne of being our own spiritual master, knowing what to do with our passion and our fire, because that's the suit of wands. Spirit manifests as fire, heat, passion. So right now we're learning how to play with our own fire, with our inner fire. We're learning how to be masters of that fire, how to express that fire in a way that's not only good for our path, but good for the one path that we're all walking together as a unified consciousness. So why this is our challenge right now, if this is coming up, it seems very clear to me, especially because they're the same suit. The better we can get at honing our fire and playing with that element in a way that serves the Most High, then that will reflect in the opportunities we receive at the end of the month. Depending on how you ace or don't ace this challenge will determine the effect of this at the end of the month. So the more work you do in getting in touch with that fire, the more you ace that challenge, the more refined those opportunities will be to tailor fit your experience. They're always, opportunities that come our way are always tailor-made for our path and our experience. There's no escaping that. Everything is in perfect order. But what I'm saying is, depending on your level of mastery here, it will reflect in these opportunities. So let's say you really expand your awareness around this. Then when the opportunities come in, you may recognize them more readily. You will be more aware and prepared to respond to those opportunities. Okay, for example, if you don't master this right now and you're kind of struggling with it, then by the time these opportunities inevitably manifest, because they will for all of us, it's a collective theme here, you may not be as conscious or aware when those opportunities come knocking. You may react or respond too hastily to those opportunities because maybe you didn't hone your fire correctly. Your fire's a little bit out of control. Maybe it's burning, and you act too fast. And that'll also be okay because nothing's outside of that perfection of divine order. So in that case, let's say you act too hastily and you get burned. It'll be a lesson. Just like Arcanum 15, the devil, aka the black magician, would tell you, it'll all still be for your learning, and that's fine. Because mistakes in hindsight are lessons. However, you can see here what I'm saying. The more you master your fire now, the more you will be able to consciously and with awareness navigate the incoming energies, in particular this incoming energy this month, of new opportunities for spiritual growth. Okay, so again, depending on how you master this, it will determine how you navigate this. Okay. And you won't have that confidence you need to be able to hone your fire without the ally who's telling you need the hope. If you're so stuck in your disappointment about the way things were, you're not going to have all your energy freed up for the task at hand. You need to let go of your disappointments. You need to let go of that feeling of being unfulfilled. Okay, we get it. You get it. You're unfulfilled. Okay, fine. Now let's work toward fulfillment. First step is really invoking that hope, feeling the fire of passion burning within you, and then honing it, learning how to direct it, so that when new opportunities come for your spiritual growth, you're ready and prepared. If you're so immature with your fire and you haven't reached this king yet, and let's say you're still working in that page archetype, you're still in that youthful aspect with the fire, and you don't really know what you're doing with your fire, then the opportunities that are going to come to you next are going to be ones that are going to give you baby steps to getting there. So it may take longer, but the world of archetypes doesn't care about time. So it doesn't matter. It's all good. Take as long as you need, right? But what I'm saying is, if you're still a baby with your fire and you haven't mastered that element yet, then by the time you receive these opportunities, they will reflect that. They will still be, fire 101 type of activities, type of opportunities. But if you ace it and you get to the level of the King of Wands, those opportunities are going to be there to get you to the next level, to go even beyond that, because the learning is never done. Once you're initiated, it unlocks another initiation. This is how the magic of life works. So depending on the level you reach right now with your mastery of fire and the suit of wands as that King of Wands, it will reflect the opportunities that come to you later. Okay, so the more you get pro with it right now, the more you are masterful with it right now, the greater that opportunity will be for you to take that even to the next level at the end of this month. You see, so in the end, you gotta see it this way. Nothing's bad. And again, Arcanum 15, the devil, black magician, will tell you that nothing's bad. You can't lose here at life. You will just be given more and more opportunities to grow until you inevitably do. That's just how it is. So the worst case scenario here is you don't quite master the fire element, and so you're going to be given opportunities to do that at the end of the month. Okay? But what the grand opportunity being offered to us here is the more awareness you bring to this process of honing your fire, the greater those opportunities will be for you to take that fire to the next level at the end of the month. That's all. And one way to do that, to really get in touch with your fire element as it exists inside of you and all things, is to first start with your definition of fire. How do you define the fire element? How do you see fire as being something that's connected to you, something that's inside of you? How do you relate to fire, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? So for example, I know I'm one with fire because I'm one with all the elements. The field through which we move is elemental, and we are literally made of those same elements. So when we attune ourselves to those elements, we attune ourselves to our environment, and we start to work with it. And when we work with nature, nature works with us, right? So I like to think of fire in all of the dimensions. Fire mentally is going to feel like inspiration. It's going to feel like spiritual inspiration. That's my definition. And so that's how my definition is going to affect my reality. Because again, everything is elemental in this world, in this material world, right? So mentally, I think fire is inspiration, enlightening my mind. Emotionally, I think of fire as maybe anger, which could be constructive if you use it wisely. Or I'm going to see it emotionally as a passion, a feeling of passion. I'm feeling heat. I'm feeling inspiration. I'm feeling, like, think about it, right? Heat is caused by friction, which causes light. So fire to me is that enlightening, inspiring element. And when I think of fire physically, I think, wow, fire that's manifesting physically is a reflection of spiritual fire, which is the animating force of all life. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. You don't need to think of it in this exact same way as me, but what I'm inviting you to do, and what I'm suggesting that you do, is dive in. Meditate. Do a little journaling, maybe a little drawing. Connect to the fire element. Make sure you have a clear definition of that element, and see what part of the definition of fire you maybe have taken on from other people, or maybe from your environment, or from wherever, from some source outside of yourself. So go back within yourself. And from there, create a definition of fire and how you want to relate to it. Because this is everything. Everything is the mind. Remember the first principle of hermetics. How you define your reality is how you will relate to it, and it's how you will connect with it. It's how you will experience it. So your definitions and beliefs about these elements reveal everything about your ability to be that alchemist and use the elements for magic, for the greater good. Okay, so first, get in touch with your definition of fire. That's your first step to this challenge. You can even see a fire inside of you, lit up inside of you, or a candle or a flame, and practice moving that fire up and out of you. You could even use an actual flame or a candle. There are plenty of meditations you can research for candle gazing, for flame gazing. Pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to summarize here really quick, just to wrap it up. Current challenge, honing our fire element, and then using that fire, acting on it, honing that fire element so that by the time we receive new opportunities for growth spiritually, we'll know exactly how to direct that fire to reach that next level of initiation. The ally tells us, stop focusing on your disappointment and all those areas where you feel unfulfilled. Collect your energy and use that energy to pick the pieces back up and move yourself ahead. Time to progress. If you guys want to understand more about how I receive these messages from the cards, and I'm excited to tell you this because we have 3 minor arcanum cards here. We have no major arcanum cards on the table today. If you want to know more about how to work with a minor arcanum of the tarot, which means the 56 minor cards of the deck, including the court cards, I just published my 2nd book today, and it's called The Royal Path 2, A Journey into the Minor Arcanum of Tarot. And what I share in there is a little bit about each of the cards of the Minor Arcanum, and I also give a bunch of tips in the very first chapter called Royal Path 101. I tried not to make it too crazy because I know I could probably go on forever, but I did give some of my favorite tips for beginners, but also for pro tarot readers who've been doing this for a long time. You may find something in there you've never heard before, because what I shared, a lot of what I shared, I've never seen in another tarot instruction book. So it's for all people on the path, no matter where you're at. Just like my first book, I got many reviews from both beginners and professionals who said it was extremely helpful and even life-changing. So if you want to see tarot from a new lens, in particular the Minor Arcanum, my new book is out, Royal Path 2. It's actually not completely done with the review yet, so you won't find the paperback copy for a couple of days probably on Amazon, but the ebook, the Kindle, is immediately available on Amazon. Just type in Royal Path 2 in Roman numerals, A Journey into the Minor Arcanum of Tarot, or you could search my name, Rebecca Magic. If you want to pre-order my book, please private message me. Don't just leave a comment because I won't see it. It'll get lost in there. So private message me and let me know that you're interested in my second book. Or maybe you're new to these videos and you want to purchase book 1 and 2 so that you can have an entire guide to the tarot. As far as my tarot deck, many of you have been asking me for a deck for years now, and it is in the works, but it is going to take some time. When that deck is completed, I'll let you all know, and it will be added into my book, and the book will be republished. So there isn't any art in the book. You don't need it. I recommend using the book with the classic Rider-Waite, but be aware of certain manipulations in the deck. If you want to know more about that, manipulations in modern tarot, just check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rebecca Magic. If you type in the search bar on YouTube, Rebecca Magic Manipulations, my videos on tarot manipulation will come up, and I think that is something really great, especially for beginners. And just one more thing I want to share with you guys. If you would like to, please join me in my private groups on Facebook. One of them is called The Royal Path, which many of you are in. I love you guys. My other private group is called Shabbat Crew, Shabbat Crew, and that's where I share Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism and the mystical import of the current Torah story every Friday night. So I just shared a bunch of really cool stuff yesterday. Feel free to join us, join the groups. I love you guys. Thank you for activating this week's message with me. Enjoy your month of miracles. Make it happen. All you need to do is remember that you are a miracle, that all of life is a miracle. Align yourself with universal truth and watch how you become a vessel for those miracles to pour through. Thank you for doing the work. Shalom.